All right, ladies and gentlemen, now this is the show that's going down, and it's going down like this. The whole problem is, you understand me, is health. We have to remind ourselves that we have to remain and grow our health, mind, body, and soul. What I mean by that mind, body, and soul is that you have to take care of yourself a balanced way all the way around. You know, if you do one without the other, then it's going to be off balance, and your health is not going to be at its full capacity. And you want your health to be the best, in the best way that you can have it to be, because that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Our health is our wealth. And we have to realize, you understand me, that as long as we value our health, you know what I'm talking about? Like exercise. You understand me? And then that means physical exercise. Mental exercise, reading, and your environment, the type of people you be around. Be around people that's positive, people that enhance you and give you good positive energy, not take positive energy away. As long as you get people that do that, you will be on a magnanimous journey, you understand me, to success. You know what I mean? And you have to keep that balance. Don't let that balance get off balance. In other words, don't exercise too much and do little of eating healthy. You know, you want to do all three of them, you understand me, to keep it in balance. If you have it off balance, your health will be off balance, you understand? You know, you don't want to concentrate, overdo one thing, and don't do enough of the other, because you will be stressful, and you won't be at peace of mind, you understand? You want to be at peace, you want your life to be balanced, you dig? And I will break these all down in different categories as far as when I start off. I'll start off with mental health, you understand? I'll start off with the mental health. Okay, mental health and spirit, you understand me? And your soul, mind, body, and soul, right? Your mind, you read good books, you think good thoughts. That's the most important one out of all of them. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you have your mind together, you can get the rest together. You see, if your mind is right, everything else you can get right. If you feed yourself PMA, positive mental attitude, and you check yourself regularly, and you put yourself in a position to where you grow gracefully, and you happen to, you know, put yourself in a mental situation to where, you know what I mean, you're being the best you can be every day. You're being around the best people. You're reading the best, you know, literature. You know what I mean? You're following the patterns of people that are winning, that are successful. You know what I'm talking about? They don't have to be financially as successful, because I'm going to tell you something. If you chase money, you may not find happiness. So what you have to do is you have to chase happiness, and money will come, because it takes a certain amount of money to make you happy. But money is not everything. When you make money everything, then you're not happy, because money is not everything. You gotta sit back and enjoy and try to enjoy your life and just want what you want for you in life. Don't try to compare yourself with other people, because that's not right for you. You be the best you can be, not no one else is best. As long as you do that and concentrate in your mind, as far as thinking those thoughts and patterning yourself after people that are winning, you know what I'm saying, and don't care about what other people think. You know what I mean? Only care about what you think and what you do, because a lot of people, they don't care about you. They just want to bring you down. They'll bring negative things to you and bring negativity to frustrate and stress you, when all you have to do is, if you know who you are and you know what you are and you know what you're doing and you're doing it for you, then you know where you're at. You got other people that try to tell you what you need to do and where you need to go, and they're not doing it for themselves. They're trying to keep up with somebody else, because they got somebody else pulling their strings, running them, and they're not even running their own life, but they want to tell you what you need to do, and they're not doing what they need to do, you know, and they're not really happy, because you can't be happy when other people are pulling your strings, or you're trying to follow and keep up with someone else. When you're not doing what you're doing, you got to be in your category. You got to be the best you can do. You can't be stressing or trying to keep up with somebody if they're financially secure and they're doing their thing, and money is no object to them. But money means a lot to you, and you're trying to keep up with them. Then you're going to be in a situation that's going to be stressful, because you're not going to be able to afford to keep up with them. But you're trying to keep up with them because you want to be on their level. But if they really cared about you as you care about them, they would make it easy on you, but you have to be the one to let people know how you feel and where you are. You can't be faking with yourself and faking, because what that does to you, it makes you frustrated and you're not happy, but you want to bring other people frustration and unhappiness because that's where you're at in your life. When they're happy and they are doing what they want to do and they're living the best they can be and they're doing it happily, then they don't have no problem with anything, you understand me? The reason why that is because they're living a life that's the life of a champion, you know. And they're living the best they can be, and they're being on that page of being victorious, you know. And you have to realize that one thing is that as long as you stay victorious, Lee, you know, and you're doing it for yourself, and you're not worrying about what nobody else. You dress the way you dress for you, what makes you feel good, not nobody else, and then you'll be winning. Let them catch up to you. Don't try to catch up to them. Don't never follow them. You're a leader. You've been around a long time. You've been around longer than them. You've been doing what you've been doing longer and better than them. You don't let them influence you. You influence them. If you don't influence them, let them do what they do, because they're not leaders no way. See, these people were not leaders no way because they were being mediocre, and then now they want to step up and make a point and try to tell you what they need to do. And they haven't been doing it. They've been doing it lately. It's not a habit with them. They go with the weather. They go along with the weather, whoever they with. You know, they don't lead the way. They're in a relationship, but it's not really a relationship, but they want to make you think they're doing so much, and they're not really doing anything. You know, but they want you to think that. Those people are faking. You don't need to be around people that are faking. You know what I'm talking about? Because all they're trying to do is act like they're doing so much and they're not doing nothing. You know, they're in poverty, they're living in poverty. You know, they're on Section 8 and all that, and they're trying to tell you, make you think they living so swell. No, you look at what they're doing and how they're living. They got the affordable place, you know what I mean? And they're doing it like that. Cool. You happy where you at? You don't try to compare yourself to them. You be your best self. You be happy where you at, you know, because everybody's in their own place in life, and life is too short to be trying to follow someone else. If that's your lot on life, following people, being a follower, then that's okay. That's your thing. That's what you do. Then you do that. But make sure, you understand me, you do these three things to keep your mind, body, and soul. You keep that on focus, that you do that for yourself. You know what I mean? Your mind, keep that right for yourself. Don't try to follow no one or do nothing else. Be the best you can be. You understand? Number 2 is eat right. You eat better. Incorporate more fruits and vegetables in your diet. Incorporate more fruits and vegetables. You know, you do it according to how you feel and what you want to do. Don't judge it by what somebody else does. You know, they're a vegetarian. They might be a vegan. They might be this. That's cool for them. You do what's best for you, because you have to know what you're doing and how to do it and do it for the right reason. You know the background and look into it, because sometimes a little bit of meat is not going to hurt you. It's going to be good for you, you understand me? You know, a lot of time longevity has a lot to do with the genes, as well as getting your 8 hours sleep. That's part of, that's on the agenda as far as the 3 things, mind, spirit, and soul. Getting your mind right is also getting the proper amount of rest. That goes along getting your mind right. If you get the right amount of rest, your mind will think the right thoughts. You will be victorious. And you'll be one, you understand what I'm saying, that will win in that type of manner. You will win in a victorious way. You understand? And not only that, you understand me, you have to realize that you have to be your own best self, you know. And then getting back to number 2, which is exercise, physical exercise. Do the exercise that's best for you. Actually, you should do 4 times a week. But if you can't do it, you're doing 1 time a week or 2 times a week, do it consistently and make sure you do it and try to grow in that area where you do it more and more when you can. But if things got you down where you're busy and you can't do the 4 a week that you want to do, make that a goal to do it the 4 times a week. But don't try to keep up with somebody else, or don't let nobody else tell you how much they're doing and what they're doing and discourage you because you're not doing that much. Don't try to do it. You do what you do for you and be happy doing what you're doing. And if you're happy doing it, that's all that counts. It has nothing to do with what somebody else does. You know, they can tell you they're doing this or they're doing that. And that's good if they do it. You do it makes you happy. And make sure you do it consistently and victoriously. You understand me? When it comes to doing the exercise. You know, you do your program and you do it that way. You know, and when it comes to spirit, you go to church, you believe in God. You go to church occasionally. You have to go to church as often as some people do. Some people may go to church all the time, some people don't. Some people go to church because somebody else wants them to go or whatever. You do what things what's best for you and how you feel and what you want to do. And you do it for that reason. If you do it, like I say, with anything else, if you do it for you, you'll be happy doing it. When you do it for somebody else, it's not going to stay because you're not really doing it for the right reason. You're doing it because they're doing it. And you're following them, you know. And when you follow somebody else to do something, it's not really valid. People don't value you for what you're doing because you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it to keep up with that other person. You know, and that's weak and that's unrespected. You're not respected for doing it for that because you haven't made your own mind up to do it. You're following the leader, you know. And that's a weak person that does that. You know, the strong survives, and the strong does it on his own, and he does his own schedule. And he does it because he wants to do it, not because of what somebody else wants you to do. And when you win that way, you can't lose. And that's the reason why I say that what we have to realize is we have to do that, and people will encourage you rather than discourage you. When you don't worry about what they do, you ain't got to even tell people what you're doing. You know, you ain't got to brag about what you're doing or do that. That's a bad thing to do when you do that. You know, just don't tell people what you're doing. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. When you're doing what you're doing, and you're being good at it, and you're being the best you can be, and you're being great, because you know that what you do is 100% your decision, what you want to do, because you know that you have to do that because you're at a point in your life that you know fruits, vegetables, and things like that. You want to eat more of it, less red meat. You know, we all know that's what you got to do, but you ain't got to cut red meat completely loose. You just have to moderate yourself on it. I cut it all the way loose, in which I may cut it all the way loose again, you know. But the point of it is, right now, I dabble with different meats and things because you know I feel that type of way. But that's my decision to do it, and I do it how I want to do it because I want to do it, you know. But I saturate my mind with fruits and vegetables. I do eat a lot of, you know, vegetables. I do that in a harmonious way, you understand me, which is making it everything right the way it's supposed to be, you know. And the thing about that is that what one should do is realize, you understand me, as you get older and as you grow, and you know, some people you could talk and you could discuss certain things with because they're on the same page you're on. Other people you can't because they want to kill you off. They want to talk about you know, their things. They want you to tell them things so they can do it. They can follow you. You don't need followers. When you get a certain age, you be your own boss. You be your own leader. You travel alone. You don't need followers. You don't need none of that. When I was young, you understand me, it's like if they're not going with me, they're not growing with me. You know, and I look at it like this, that the person, that the people that I, you know, used to associate with, you know, I would use them. They would work for me or do things for me. I was able to benefit from them like that. But I got to a point in my life where I'm not trying to use people. I'm not trying to benefit from them. You know, I just stay away from them and do my own thing. You understand what I'm saying? And run along. Because I noticed that ain't nobody going to be you as good as you can be. And they'll try to be you, and then they won't be able to be you. And then they'll get frustrated and they'll fall out the race. You know. And it's like you got to be your own best self, and you got to do you for you and be who you are. You know, you love dressing, you love clothes. And other people may act like they love clothes, but they don't. They just want to try to keep up with you. And you can see how fast they get off the ship. You know what I'm talking about, how they jump ship. You understand what I'm saying, when they don't benefit them. Yeah. And dressing and doing certain things you do, that's what you do it because that's what you like to do, and you be that best you can be. And you got to let those other people go, because if they're not growing with you, they're frustrated, they're stressful. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean, they're envious and jealous you in a certain amount of way. You know, and you're content and you're happy and you're in a happy position. And they like to knock that happiness out of you. You know, they don't want to see the smile on your face. They don't want to see you happy. You know what I mean? You got a good woman, you're doing good. And they really despise that, really deep down inside. They don't have a woman, you know what I mean? They got somebody they want to act like it's their woman and it ain't their woman. You know what I mean? That's faking, like I said before. Faking is not good. You know what I mean? When you're faking, you can't be happy because you know you're not being real. And happiness is something that's real. You know, happiness and joy and all the things that come along are real. And that's why I said if a person's not going with you, they're not growing with you, they're not going to go with you. You have to let those people go. You have to be strong enough and determined enough to let those people go. See them occasionally, maybe once or twice a month. And that's only for one day, and don't talk to them all the time either. Don't talk too much because you don't want to get that negative influence on you. If you see them every now and then, you can deal with the positiveness about them, being with them for that one day. You know, you can do that. But you have to realize that it's never going to be like it was because they're not growing with you and they're not going with you. You understand? You know, it's like they're thinking different on life than you. They're saying they got 10 years to live. You're thinking you got to the end of life when life ends. You don't put no time on how long you're going to be here. You enjoy every day and you don't put a limit because if you're putting a time on how long you have to live, then you're going to do wrong things that are wrong. You're going to eat the wrong foods. You're going to, do things, spend money not right. You're not managing, so you're not going to be happy because you're not living to your best satisfaction. You know, if you're a person, say you like to save money, you like to get deals, you like to do things like that, and all of a sudden you start doing other things contrary to what your belief is. We know your belief is you being a tightwad and get deals because that's where you get your satisfaction. Get deals, and you all of a sudden stop doing that, and you spend money on expensive things. Going to expensive shows, doing expensive stuff. Do we know that's not you? That's not your you're not acting the person that you are. So we know you're not happy because you must be doing this by outward appearance or outward influence. And if you're doing it because of that, it's not real. You know, and it's not gonna stay. It's not gonna stay with you. You know, it's like anything. You try doing something and then it's a time where it's gonna run out. It's gonna run its course. You know, or whoever you're doing it with, you're gonna break up with them because it's not a harmonious situation. You know, here you are living amongst your mean. What do you call it? You're living among as they call it. You're living beyond your means. You know, and if you're living beyond your means, then you can't be happy. Like me, I balance things out. I buy expensive clothes. I go to the cleaners, I do things that means a lot to me, and that's what's important first. And then if I go to a show or do something, I don't spend a whole lot of money going to a $200 or $300 show to see a show, a live show entertainer. No, I see the same people at an affordable situation or even something free. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how I can do that. Why would I want to throw my money away just to see somebody? For one night, 1 hour, 2 hours. No, I'm not doing it. I'll spend that $200 for a more meaningful situation. I'll put that $200 toward the trip going to L.A. to go shopping, and do something that means a lot that I love doing. Everybody got their priorities, what they like to do, And first and foremost, my dressing is what I really love to do, I love to dress, and I got a queen that dresses and does the same things. She likes the same things I like to do. We got what you call a perfect combination. We're a perfect combination, you understand? So we're growing together and we're going together. That's how you want it to be. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be by themselves. But what you have to do before you even get with somebody else or be with somebody else is first love yourself and find out who you are. But I always was a leader. Even back then when I had women I was around, and I used them for the influence to be around them. They were like they were place setters, as I say. They were in my life to make me look good. And that's what they did. They made me look good. They would go places with me. They made me look good because they looked like they was my woman. But they stayed in their place. I didn't have to spend no money, extra money, and nothing to do that. It was just, I did it occasionally. You wouldn't catch me running everywhere I go. I'm running with them, and they not my woman. No, it ain't like that. I'll be around them occasionally, and then they made me look good, so I would, make sacrifices and do certain things. But I enjoyed being with them and I'd be around them just a limited amount of time. Not too much time to where I couldn't find my own woman. No, you never do that. You never get around somebody that's occupying your time so much as a friend to where that you cannot come up with a woman on your own because you're content with being with them and they're not your woman, they're your friend. So see, I understand all this. That's the reason why when I was friends with these different women that I was friends with, they were friends and I knew that the category they were in. So I treated them like friends. Maybe at first I might start off trying to make them be a woman, but when I found out right away that they weren't going to be nothing more than that because they weren't cooperating, or they didn't have the things that I liked about a woman that I needed to have. That they weren't, that wasn't there. Then I knew I had to seek other arrangements, and that's what I would do. See, you know what I'm saying? I was always on the pursuit of coming up with someone. But a lot of cats, they get content with being by themselves, and then they stop looking for somebody else because they've always been doing things by themselves, so they never made it interesting or made accomplishments or made things happen to make things to come around to where they can, influence these other people. It's like this. You have someone in your life, right? Well, then you don't need all these other people in your life because you found the one. But if you find the one, you go out with friends, you sing with women, with different women, it all looks good. It makes you feel good, you look good, you're on your pursuit. But you do never overexpose yourself to where you don't have time to be with a woman that you can be with or to be with you. See, some people get caught in the hype so much that they forget to really open their heart to get with someone, to really be with someone, so they can have a real relationship. They don't have the real relationship that's supposed to be there, with someone, And then when they do that, they're not living in reality. They're faking it. They say, well, everybody thinks I got to see my woman. They think that's me. So, we'll play it off like it's me. That's what you be trying to do. But all the time, it ain't there. It ain't happening. You know it in your own mind. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not on that level that these people want you to be on, and you never will be. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to be your own best self, like I said before. Be your own best self. And if you're not growing with the people, you're not going together. If you're not growing, you have to grow. A lot of times you think you're doing better because you made a couple of moves. You know what I'm saying? Or you might have a little bit of jewelry, or you might have your friends together, but you really don't have no money. You live comfortable, but you really don't have nothing. And like me, myself, I'll be honest, I say I don't wear no jewelry because I don't need to. Because what I need to be having jewelry on, what I'm trying to show off for. When you're young and you're in the game, you need medals, you understand me, to represent. You have to be had them at one time. When you get to a certain age, you don't have to have them no more. You done already made your way. You are who you are. You can have them if you want, but if you don't want, you still who you are. You still the giant that you are, that you became. It doesn't, the jewelry or the tools or the clothes don't make you who you are. You are who you are by your reputation throughout your whole career. 50-something years or whatever that expanded your career. My career expands over 50 years. But that's what I'm saying. But you got these people that don't know nothing, that square, that been faking all through the game, ain't never been in the game. But they want to make opinion or make points or say something about the game. I don't even like to talk to people like that because they don't know anything and they think they can say something to somebody. That's why I said, if you're not going with me, you're not going with me. I don't even discuss or talk with people like that. When I was in the chicken point, I was at a level before the pandemic. When I was at the chicken place, where I used to talk and do with things and be different than I am now. I'm on a different page now where I do not, you understand me, do anything with anyone. You know what I mean? I do not have no time to be dealing with these people, you know what I'm saying, because they're not on the page that I'm on. And so I let them go. But you have to be your best self. You have to live your life. You know what I'm saying? And don't worry about what somebody else say or what they do. If they do it because they want to do it. And then they try to get you to do it because they want you to tell you what you need to do. And you tell them you're not. You know what I mean? Those people like that, they're not no good. They're not growing with you and they're not going with you. You just know you have to be with them on a limited amount of time. Not too often, just on an occasional basis. Because you know that they don't mean you no good. You know, they're not no good. and you have to realize that. And as you realize it and you know it, you can get along better. You understand me? And with that in mind. When you have that in mind, you can deal with it and be on top. Keep your game together. And you know what I mean, and stay on top of your business and keep your business on point, Because the bottom line is, you understand me, we have to be our best self and we have to live for ourselves. And we have to learn, but when we learn, we don't have to tell everybody. When you value what you learn and you value the knowledge and things you have, you don't tell everybody, you keep it to yourself. You don't just talk to people just to be taught it. You ain't in the hipping business. You ain't trying to hip everybody. You don't try to do a lot of things that's not really necessary, You know what I mean? But ladies and gentlemen, I do want to give a shout out to my niece. I have my condolences to her and her family because she lost her husband last week. And it's really sad when you're only like 60 years old, in your early 60s, and you lose your life. You know what I'm saying? And you're not sick or nothing. Something happens and you just, bam, you're not here no more. It's really shocking to the family because they haven't had time to get prepared for what happens, You know what I'm saying? And I just want to wish them the best and I hope they can adjust and if they need any help from me in any kind of way, just come to me because I will help you in the best of my ability that I can, And I really mean that because I'm not one that's just say things and whatever. I will be at the services, you understand me? Wherever they're at, here or Vegas or wherever they're at, I'm going to be there. But the point of it is like this. They mean a lot to me because this person was in my niece's life over 30 years. That's like a nephew. That's real family. That's real family, You know what I'm saying? But you have to look at the fact that, hey, every day above ground that we're living and that we're living our life. I'm 71 and, hey, I'm not putting no limit on how long I'm going to be here. I'm just trying to enjoy every day that I am here, because being the best you can be, I'm talking about, and showing by example, seeing people, visiting people, doing what you do, spending time with them is all good. That's a good thing to do, because you never know, understand what the future has to offer. But what you do is you live your life to the best of your ability, and enjoy and do what's necessary. That's all we can do, you know what I'm saying? And remember that. And ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm buying these 2 shows last week, I messed up on the show I did about the health and mind, body, and soul. I had to reiterate that there, you understand me, because it wasn't right last week. I did something wrong on putting the show up. But the point of it is, that's just the way it is. I'm doing it right this time, and I got it on the right track, back on the right track. I just misunderstood something. But the point of it is I combine the 2 shows into one. If you're not going together, you're not growing together. Health is mind, body, and soul. Because it all interacts. You know what I'm saying? You got to let those people go because they're not healthy for you. That's part of your mind and your soul. You got to let those people go because if their negative energy is not coming out right, you got to let them go, man. You can't be around those kind of people because they're not doing nothing but hold you back. When you were younger, you didn't know no better. You went through it the hard way. You learned from experience. When you once learn, who ain't no good and who is, you know what you got to do. Because I knew that too, but I did what I did, and I was able to accomplish a lot and win. But things could have been worse. I could have came out on a bad end, in a lot of situations. God was working with me, and God was on my side. And God took me to a victorious manner, where I was able to win, you understand what I'm saying, in that type of way. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's the International Reds Fashion Experience, and I would like to let you know that you have to be the best you can be, and take care of your mind, body, and soul. All of them have to be balanced out according to how you feel. Make sure you do something to enhance all aspects of your life, And not only that, you have to grow. If you're not growing with you, they're not going with you. You have to realize you have to let people go that's not on your page. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is the International Reds Fashion Experience. All right. Yeah, that was it.